Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to it.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, Virginia, you gonna talk like this too?
What? Yeah, it's a hype day today.
Yeah, we're hype. We're hype AF.
Hype day. It's all good. Got some emails rolling here today about some of the conversations from today. We were talking about in South Florida, assholes drive what kind of car the most?
Denny said people were pissed. We were going after people who back in when they park. We just said, though, that's only a small element of the syllabus. There's a lot of traits that have to add up to be a dick.
Yeah. So they're taking it very sensitively, huh?
Well, some people did, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, number one, we had got Jack trucks. We had got Audis at 2. And then number 3, I think, was it the Prius?
You had a lot of those during the show.
Yeah.
Any from Mustangs?
Not really too much on the Mustangs. There were a few other recommendations, including this one for BMWs. How are they not on your list? As a professional tractor-trailer driver of 40 years, BMW drivers are the absolute worst. They have absolutely no idea of their surroundings at any time.
I had a guy one of my friends his name's Eddie. He works on cars and knows a lot about cars. There's a lot of aftermarket stuff to cars. And he said BMWs are the worst.
Is his nickname Fast Eddie? Because he's into cars.
You've met him.
I know Fast Eddie.
I don't know if he goes by Fast Eddie.
Is that his new name?
It is now. Who's Eddie? We don't have to get into that. No one gives a shit. But okay, I got you. All right.
Got also some emails about bad teachers. We're talking about that. There was a first grade teacher that got in trouble in Riviera Beach. She slammed a kid into the wall, chipped his tooth. I'm like, damn.
She pushed his face into the wall and knocked his tooth out. I mean, it's time to retire, lady.
And then she won the hardcore championship belt.
Right. It took him out. Didn't see it coming. This email said, when I was in 7th grade, we had multiple horrible teachers. One would snap and throw desks or choke students out in front of the whole class. The boys' gym teacher would stand outside the showers and stare at us after gym class while we showered.
Oh, my gosh.
Last but not least, we had an English teacher that when he wasn't smoking his pipe in the bathroom, he was saying creepy things to the girls and licking his fingers to wipe spit on random girls' faces.
Oh. What?
Small town live at its finest.
I'm so glad I wasn't forced to do that whole shower thing. I think some schools back in the day, you had to take a shower after PE.
Yeah, you did. And then there would be all kinds of pedophile episodes that happened.
Shit that.
Yeah, we'd had that in my town. The gym teacher was recording the basketball players in the shower.
And you said somebody saw the flashing red light and they were like, wait a minute, what's that?
Yeah.
They found the camera.
Opened the locker and it turned into a big court case and all that kind of stuff.
Dang.
Didn't he get bounced to a different school and the same thing happened?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he. In fact, it's pretty funny because one of our KVJ Nationers, he wound up at Washington Courthouse High School. He's from mine. And he saw me, he's like going, I heard you telling that story. Like going, I remember we got that guy.
That's funny.
Yeah. So he was a great basketball coach. I mean, he was really good. Like we had a solid men's basketball program, and he was a big winner. So, that plays into things, especially sometimes in small towns where there's a lot of pride for athletic achievement.
Especially back then.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was before the Penn State issues and all those kind of things. So you were just like, wait, they're doing what? Like this wasn't anything you would ever imagine somebody would do. And so it was a trial that happened. He was acquitted but fired, wound up going to Washington Courthouse High School about maybe 90 minutes away on windy roads from where I lived. And then, got busted doing the same thing there.
He was acquitted and then got busted at the... Okay, well, sounds like there was some home cooking going on there.
Acquitted, went to a different school, accused again.
Coincidence? I think not.
We ain't buying that bag of lies.
Uh-huh.
Wow, you really grew up in a fucked up town.
You know what? Small towns, it's weird. Like South Florida and small towns really attract weirdos.
Yeah.
I think it's because they think, I don't know, they think that they just, I don't know if they think they can blend in or I don't know. Like no one's going to say anything about it.
Was he from there or he just migrated there?
No, I think he migrated there. I don't know that he was anyone that grew up in the town. I think, as teachers sometimes do, especially in small towns because, our high school was the entire county. So if you moved on from that, you would have to move at least to another county to go get a job.
Did you say you think South Florida attracts weirdos?
Big time.
Yeah,
big time.
That place, that park, Kelsey Park in Lake Park, my dad used to work there, and it did attract so many weirdos. I mean, it was bizarre how many just different kind of characters that
Still
were
to
there.
this day, if you go to Kelsey Park, it can be a little sketchy.
It reminded me of a Twilight Zone episode. Guys would bring out swords to fight people. And there was another guy cursing at the sky, and my dad ended up, he's like, this isn't right. So he called the police. The guy was questioned and a murderer. I think he ended up doing it.
Dang.
Yeah, it was fucking weird, man.
It makes sense. I mean, I was just reading a story today. They've had this, and I don't know how long it's been there, but there have been some media stories done about the homeless tent village that they've got at John Prince Park and Lake Worth Beach. 70 tents in this story, and my wife was telling me the other day, I think it was late last week, there was like 150 people that were camped out there. And under the current law, the county can't force them to leave, but they'd done a story about this woman that was from Pennsylvania, had enough to get on a bus ticket and was like, it's too freaking cold to be homeless here. And so she got, just enough to get down here and had heard about what was going on at John Prince Park, and that's where she was heading. So the word is kind of out. So that's just it. So if you're running from something or it's just not working out for you somewhere else, you come here because it's at least warm. You can sleep out in the woods somewhere and try to make it happen.
That's where I would go, the woods. And I'd be dead 30 minutes later.
You would last about probably 45.
Mm-hmm. Got this email about bad teachers. Barb and Vero said, my fifth grade teacher threw chalkboard erasers at students that were talking. Once I wasn't paying attention and one hit me in the head instead of the intended target. The chalk was blue.
Dang.
Yeah, could you see that happening nowadays? No. Yeah, teachers used to do some crazy stuff. I used to have a teacher who would throw the erasers too.
Yeah.
I never got hit, but I saw it too. I saw a nun in first grade threw an eraser at a kid, and it was back in the day when the erasers used to be wood on one side.
I'm not at all trying to pick a fight with nuns because I'm sure there's some great, beautiful nuns out there. I meant
Aunt Gertie was a nun.
Spiritually, I mean beautiful. But I've heard some really wicked stories of some really mean nuns that beat that ass.
I think there's mean people in every profession.
You're right.
But, I mean, nuns aren't allowed to have any kind of sexual relations. You'd be mean, too. Think about that.
Now that pent-up aggression.
You're not allowed to be a born-again virgin and then become a nun once it's...
Once you're a nun, you can't.
But I'm saying, if you wanted to become a born-again nun and become, and say, a born-again virgin and become a nun, could you do that?
I think you can, yeah.
Okay.
I think you can go into being a nunnery situation, but I don't think you can, while you're a nun, get your freak on.
I thought you had to never ever have sex to be a nun, but I guess I'm wrong.
That's a good question.
Who's going to test?
Maybe you're wrong.
I don't know. I can't say with all
they
certainty.
They got to take it your word, don't they? And I don't even know if they ask.
Well, at this
You're
point,
right.
they're desperate for nuns, so
Yeah.
they probably would take some chicks that threw it.
But you're right. How would you know back then? I'm sure.
How would you know ever?
I'm sure in the history of nunnery, there's been some that stepped out and might have lied. right?
Sure.
No, of course, yeah, but I don't think they have any way of, you got to take you at their word. What are they going to do, a hymen test? They're going to do TI?
I don't see that. I don't see that happening.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to fly.
It's fascinating, though.
It is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Got a little bit more explanation about the Shakira halftime show. Anyone who knows anything about Colombian culture is just saying, look, the whole thing was a tribute to Colombian culture. It said, good morning, guys. I was hearing your podcast from yesterday. You talked about Shakira's tongue dance. If you're from Barranquilla, you will realize that almost everything she did in the Super Bowl is to honor our signature party, El Carnaval de Barranquilla. Specifically, the thing with the tongue is a character called with the thong. I guess even the thong she was wearing is a character that is called Negrito de Sang. It's a national carnival. It's the same time as Mardi Gras.
Okay.
So there you go.
In just a few short weeks, then.
Mm-hmm. That is from Leo. That's a picture that came along with it. I don't think that's Shakira.
No. That is not Shakira.
That'd be crazy. Stacy here has got a question about your culture, Virginia.
Yes.
Cajun culture. She needs a little help. I got a friend who moved here from Louisiana who's looking for live crawfish. You're the only person I know that can help. Please and thank you.
Yes. So you have a few options.
I wish you would do it in a Cajun accent.
You got a few options there, Sha. So you can call up this company called Louisiana Crawfish. They're on the internet at lacrawfish.com. And you can get their mud bugs shipped right to your front door to the FedEx.
Very good.
Pretty good.
You sound just like this guy I played baseball with my freshman year. He was from Louisiana, and the first entire semester, I did not understand we'd have conversations, and I go, what the fuck did we just talk about? And by the second semester, I was able to kind of start picking it out a little bit.
Yeah, I suggest doing the lacrawfish.com because they ship them right to your front door. It's the easiest way. There are seafood markets that carry them throughout South Florida. I love many of the seafood markets here in South Florida, but the easiest thing is to have it shipped right to your front door.
Okay.
It seems like there's a lot of fun stuff when it comes to Cajun. Just the whole vibe is fun.
Oh, yeah, it's a fun vibe. So I'm not a Cajun by blood. My people aren't from Louisiana. We moved there when I was 5. So I was raised there. Nobody in my family is Cajun. Nobody in my family speaks Cajun. My mom's Mexican. My dad is like Irish and English. So I just picked it up by standing around Cajun people. Mm-hmm. I don't want to claim the birthright. But I do love the culture, and the food is fabulous.
It's some of the best eaten in America, no doubt.
It really is.
Chris and Erica said they have a cruise question for the expert suits. They got to know here a lot of cruise stuff that is going on. They said here that they're going on their honeymoon cruise in just a couple of weeks, and they need some advice. Okay, so suits, they're sailing on the Royal Caribbean Allure of the Seas for 7 days. Their drink package is $61 per day, so the total will be about $430 per person. But even though they charge you the full price for all 7 days, I know we won't be able to use it the day we disembark, and we'll use it less the days we're at ports because we'll be off the ship. The alternative is spending $8 to $12 per drink every time. We're definitely drinkers. I just don't know if the package is worth spending $860 for 2 people. What do you recommend?
Yeah, I think it depends, honestly, if you think about how much you're going to drink on average per day during the cruise. You think, okay, $8 to $12, you're paying $60 a day per person. If you're going to spend more than that $60 a day, it's worth it. If you're not, it just depends on how much of a drinker you are. then it's going to be worth it. On port days, a lot of times, you drink less because you're not on board. So if you look at the itinerary itself, is it a port-heavy itinerary? How many days at sea do you have? How long are you in port per day? That also helps make your decision. And then the other thing, I think that's a common mistake, they're saying, I'm not going to drink on the morning of disembarkation. It's a 7-night cruise, and you're being charged for 7 nights. The 8th day you're not paying for because that's when you get off the ship. So you're not actually paying for the morning that you get off of the ship in that fee.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
Look at this guy.
What did you say? Disembarkation?
Disembarkation? When you get off the ship?
Is that a word?
Yeah.
Oh.
You
It's a big
embark,
fancy one,
That's a
Virginia.
new word
and then
for
you
me.
disembark.
Disembarkation.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Yeah. Disembarkation.
I think we should quiz her on that word tomorrow.
I won't remember it.
I saw this too, that you talk about that coronavirus. The Princess cruise ship in Yokohama, Japan is now quarantined with 2,666 guests due to the coronavirus.
Because one of the cats on it had it. They took his ass off and tested him, and they made everybody sit on the boat and wait till his test came in, and his test came back positive.
Yeah, it was positive. So now they are going to have to disinfect the entire ship and then make sure all the passengers are okay because, the Port Authority there is not allowing anybody off the ship, obviously, because they don't want anybody
I
sick.
better get a damn drink package for free if I am.
I think you've earned it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get the coronavirus.
I mean, I'd better be free Coronas. Like, if I'm quarantined.
If you're all just kind of quarantined to your room, can you get room service drink package?
Well, I think in this case, the ship itself is quarantined, so you're not quarantined to your room. You just can't leave the ship. Because these passengers aren't necessarily sick. Now, if they were to test positive, then they would quarantine them to their room, and then, somebody's going to obviously have to provide them with food and drinks and all that kind of stuff.
Dang.
But, they're very touchy over it right now, obviously. If you've been in China over the last 2 weeks, they will deny your entry on any cruise ship right now, pretty much worldwide. And then, I was telling you guys last week about that one ship that had 6,000 passengers that was quarantined, and it ended up that the person didn't have the coronavirus.
Thank
it was
goodness.
paranoia. Once they tested them, they were clear they had a common cold, and then they released the ship. But in this case, the person that disembarked that had boarded in Hong Kong had the virus, so now they have to, I guess, test everybody.
Dang.
I want to go on a cruise with you, Suits.
Let's do it.
Forgot
I'd
your
love
name
to.
Did you almost call him Shoots?
I did. Shoots.
I would have gone to cruise with your
Scoots.
Shoots.
We got Shoots.
I'd like to go on a cruise with your Shoots.
Yeah, I think we were trying to put something together.
I'd love to
we're
do
working
it.
on it. I'm trying to see if we can put something together. I think it would be really awesome to do that KVJ cruise.
Can you do like a 4-day cruise?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we
they've
should
got
do.
Everything. They got, the 3-night, 4-day weekend cruises, Friday to
Oh,
Monday.
that's just our game.
Totally.
Perfect.
We should do something with the Bahamas one.
Yeah, they've got the 2-night cruises right there out of Palm Beach. So
We can go over there and check on the progress in West End. I think that'd be fun.
I want to go on there and see the entertainment, like the comedians and the. I always love ship comedians.
I like when you do the R-rated shows. Those are funny. I do like them because they'll have a family-friendly and then the adult version, and the family-friendly always sucks.
Of course, yeah. We're all about the adult version.
They used to have that on the gambling boat. The one that would take out for 3 hours, and on the way back, they'd have some comedian for all the people. There would be like 11 people in one room. It was kind of awkward. I think that's why I liked it.
And you were probably drunk.
Yeah, probably.
A lot of people are saying to go with the drink package in the chat room.
It also just makes it's nice and convenient because you never have to worry about when you get a drink, giving them your card and signing a receipt every time. You just get the
You
drink.
just do
and
it.
Yeah, it's so easy.
And two, I mean, it gives you like a little mission while you're on the boat. You're like, all right, every day we've got to make sure that we come out on top.
Plus, you can try something new, and if you hate it, you didn't have to pay for it. You can just go and get a
Right.
different drink.
I'll try a rum drink. Nah. I'll try a gin drink. Nah.
Drink them all.
I mean, you'll finish them. You'll finish your rum and your gin.
I would.
I've had it the last few cruises, and I love having the drink.
I don't know about gin. Ugh.
Gin and tonic with a little lime, fresh. Oh, it is very refreshing. I highly recommend the gin and tonic.
Are you a gin man, Kev?
It is okay. I can do it. My oldest son, Colin, he drinks the gin and tonics.
And the youngest son, too, Cannon, loves them.
Big
Oh,
fan.
Virginia, he's a vodka man.
Yeah. So I try it a little bit, and it's not bad. I prefer my vodka over gin. But, he's right now taking a class, and he's making gin. So he's learning how to make it himself.
Okay, finally, this kid is doing something we can relate to.
I like it.
Normally, he's doing all this smart, like math stuff.
I thought he build a rocket. I didn't know he could build some gin.
Let's build a distillery.
He's got a distillery class.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll make great gin. Guarantee he'll crush it.
Oh,
His
absolutely.
gin will win.
Yeah. So we'll see. I haven't heard the result of it yet. He said he just got to try it.
When are we going to get some moonshine back across this state line?
I need to order some. I'm going to Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is in 2 weeks.
Because they've got that faux pas fake moonshine here in Florida. That's not real.
If it's on a shelf in a bar and it says moonshine, it's not really moonshine.
I mean, they're selling at the front of the counter. Oh, get your moonshine. I'm like, this is not moonshine.
You ain't allowed to sell real moonshine.
That's right.
Now something make you go blind.
Did you have any of hers?
I don't know if I had Virginia's. It's been a while since I've had it. When I was a kid, you would have it.
It's been a while since I brought it back. I brought that back after my wedding. Because one of my Mississippi friends, that was the wedding gift they gave me, like all these milk jugs of bootleg moonshine.
Anytime you put the word jug with something, it makes it sound so much better. A milk jug, a moonshine jug, even a shit jug. It sounds better.
Does it?
Damn, look at her jugs.
A jug, it makes everything sound slightly better. Oh, I got a jug of wine. Ooh, a jug of wine.
Love it, huh?
I love that word. All right, shut the fuck up, Jason.
Got somebody, Denise, did the homework on Jeffrey Epstein's net worth, estimated a whopping $634 million. Virginia's wondering who's in charge of his estate. So maybe that link will tell you right there. I got to tell you, with all the great documentaries they do now on stories, when they finally get to the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, it's going to be...
Yeah, $634 million. Who's in charge of that money?
It's crazy, yeah. I have no idea. I don't know
He
a lot
doesn't have
about
any
it.
kids.
Yeah.
So what the F? That money needs to go to the victims. And that's why there needs to be a trial. And that's why there needs to be... people taking culpability for him getting away with this.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of mystery and intrigue just with the power groups he hung around with. When you have that kind of money, when you have your own islands, when you're doing everything he does, when you die mysteriously, it's just one of those stories. It's going to be when they finally do, like the Aaron Hernandez is so big. My daughter Caitlin said that she was just watching the one on who's the woman that lives here that killed her daughter.
Casey
Anthony.
Oh,
yeah, she said they have a really good one out right now. Those things crush it. People love those stories. They're just so fascinating. So that Jeffrey Epstein, when they do it and they do it right and it pops up on Netflix and who knows how long, it's going to do great.
There was a whole podcast called The Mysterious Mr. Epstein, and it was like 9 episodes. I listened to all of it, and it was fascinating.
Was it? Yeah, it was a highlight. Somebody was telling me about that, and I don't know if I'm going to take the time.
I like details. I think the devil is in the details, and literally it was in this case. It was just so interesting to see how he set up the infrastructures and how he got away with it and how I think the sheriff's department or whoever was in charge of watching over him, he had work release. So he would go to jail at night and then during the day was allowed to go to his office where it was nothing but 20-something-year-old hot chicks working. Like, this is a ridiculous prison sentence, a laughable, ridiculous prison sentence. Like, the people that were in charge of getting him this sweetheart deal, those people should be in trouble.
Yeah, they should. It is really a shame that, in America, the justice system is still so based on money and power. And
you
who
learn
you
how
are and
he got these
influence.
girls. You learn how he got the girls to get other girls. You figure out the whole infrastructure. They talk about his home and how it was set up in this peculiar certain way. And he had certain molestation rooms. And, it is fucked up.
That is. Yeah. I mean, that's the best way to put it. Yeah.
Talking about some of those Netflix documentaries, I know you're not really big into the murder stuff, but I know a lot of our KVJ Nationers are. There is a documentary about Henry Lee Lucas. He was a serial killer, but it's such a crazy story, and I found out details I never knew, and it's got South Florida ties to it as well. I highly recommend anyone looking for that kind of documentary that I think you would enjoy. I think it's 4 parts on Netflix. It's very, very fascinating.
Okay. Interesting stuff.
It's good
There's a lot of
stuff.
it out there. They make a lot of murder stuff.
And the documentary's really good.
We tried to watch the Ted Bundy thing the other night. It was on
Yes.
ABC. Me and Panda watched about half of it, and then we both looked at each other and we're like, I'm like, I can't take it anymore.
The Bundy one's really, it's got so many layers of it being fucked up.
I couldn't take it anymore. I just could not handle it. My heart was hurting too bad for these poor women.
For sure. And their families are still alive, by the way. You know, that happened in the 70s. It's not that long ago.
No, it's not.
In fact, his last victim, I believe, was, well, he escaped. Yeah, it was the 70s.
Yeah, he got out of prison twice.
He escaped twice.
That is so messed up. He got out and kept killing.
The weird thing, too, about him is he saved someone's life at one point. Or when he was younger, he saved someone from drowning.
So he could
Really?
kill them later.
It was weird. He said he struggled with that. The
Yeah.
fact that one part of him could save a life and the other part could take a life.
They said his eyes would turn black and he would like turn into a different person when he killed.
If you seek footage of him from the courthouse when he defended himself, you do see moments of him getting weird, especially when the crimes are being described. It's kind of like he's going through it, reliving it. And they say a lot of times during the trials, the serial killers love it because they already know they're going to jail or they're dying. This is their last time to really go through
Relish.
all that moment.
Savor the...
Well, you have their families there, and it's really fucked up.
It really is.
Got some advice emails here. Anonymous one said, I'm 29. I've been in a relationship for 2 years. I've not lived together yet and am 2 months pregnant. I have a lot of issues when it comes to my reproductive area. This is my first pregnancy, and I'm afraid I might not get another chance if I don't take this one. But he doesn't think it's the right time, and I don't particularly think so either. But I'm afraid I may not get another chance due to my issues. Advice.
How old is she?
29. Been in a relationship for 2 years. Not lived together yet, and I'm 2 months pregnant.
Oh my gosh. I mean, this is such a personal decision that you have to make.
Yeah, I mean, I don't...
Nobody can tell you what's in your heart.
Yeah,
I mean, I know what I would do personally, but I'm also a dude.
Yep. I would seek out people that have maybe been through this.
And if
Yeah.
you're not ready, you can always look at adoption.
True. Yeah, I know. We had just talked about baby the other day, and somebody's like, oh my gosh, please get us the information. We'd love to contact him for the baby. So a lot of people are looking for that. I am a person that I believe that, you should have the choice to do whatever you want to do, but I always side on keeping the baby in any way possible you can, barring, medical issues or whatnot. So to me, it's life, and people want them, and they're precious. And I would imagine that if you could fast forward right now and talk to your 49-year-old self, if you had this baby, you'd be like going, that was the best thing ever. I know, for instance, one of the stories that had come out just this last year, the big star running back for the Ohio State Buckeyes, it's going to be a big NFL draft pick and going to make a ton of money. His mom almost aborted him. And she calls him his little miracle now. And she's like, oh my gosh, I just, so I just hear a lot of the stories, and those stand out to me.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. And that's where I side with it. So you got to talk to people, that have gone through it. And you're going to talk to people who have different experiences.
And it's not your boyfriend's decision. It's your decision.
Yeah,
So
I wouldn't let that.
The fact that he doesn't
Yeah.
want to have a baby, it is not his call.
No.
You have to rectify this in your mind
Yep.
and in your heart. And if you don't think you're ready for a baby, adoption is a beautiful thing.
I think you should get the people you trust and love in your life, though. They need to all be. I would contact them and get that kind of support system going.
And there are tones in your email and the way you wrote it that leads me to believe that you would like to keep it. When I read this, I'm like going, I don't know. I feel like you're more worried about what would happen if you don't keep the baby than if you did.
Right.
So that's my feel, but you got to just,
you gotta do it. Yeah.
Yep. Ask questions.
Good luck.
Yeah. That's those big life-changing decisions that
sure.
Yeah.
we make.
That is a huge one.
Yep. Stacy, she said, I was listening to the podcast the other day about recycling a song in a relationship. Kevin said, some things are okay to recycle and some are not. I was wondering your opinions on this. I was in a relationship for 10 years. We broke up a year ago, and I've been dating somebody new for about 6 months. I have my own place now, complete with a full drawer dedicated to lingerie, some of which is expensive. My question is it okay to wear it again in my new relationship, or do I just have to throw it all out and start over again.
Of course you wear it again. The lingerie doesn't belong to him. It belongs to you. It's your stuff. You don't throw away beautiful lingerie just because you've worn it for many years and many men.
You don't throw away your underwear.
No.
Don't get new socks.
That is your stuff. It is not their stuff.
And I always wear my socks when I bang.
Well, you're a classy guy.
I am a classy guy.
It's a very classy move.
My feet get cold. I have specific sex socks. Panda knows this.
I'm not hating on it.
Yeah.
I don't want to have cold feet.
Sock
Do what
it
you
up.
gotta do. Yeah.
You do you.
I feel kind of weird wearing it with my new boyfriend, but I also hate to throw away hundreds of dollars in the garbage.
You
Get
should
it.
not feel weird. That lingerie belongs to you.
Mm-hmm.
It does not have some label on it that says this was from some man.
But I would also say, too, you got a new guy, maybe get some new stuff, too.
Or send him to the store to get you something.
Well, how about this? Do it together. It's fun. It's fun to shop for sex stuff together.
Yeah.
It is.
Adult Video Warehouse is fun together.
If you are
they have
wi-
little outfits.
If you are with somebody new, I honestly would say suggest go out together so you both can find something you both are turned on. But that's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun fucking thing to do.
Got an anonymous email here. I think this pretty much should answer itself, but would it be wrong if you ask your spouse to look at their phone with the intent of seeing if there is something happening that shouldn't be? My spouse had a physical affair with someone they work with. I caught them in the middle of a heavy makeout session. I have no idea how long things were going on with them or how far things truly got, but I suspected something over a year prior to me catching them. I trusted my spouse when they said nothing was happening, and I was overthinking things. My spouse also had an emotional affair with someone across the state on social media, an iMessage at the same exact time, which was an extremely emotional, mental, and sexting in nature. For example, my spouse said that they wanted to have children with said person about 4 months after a procedure was done to not allow me to have children any longer.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, this person is a nut job, and you should not be married to them.
No.
I mean, yeah.
Prior to all this, I used to have access to my spouse's phone for years. They never not had access to mine. At some point, my spouse removed my access and removed all notification settings, which looking back to when shit hit the fan, I wonder if all that happened to keep all the secrets.
Of course it did.
It's been a couple months since all this came out, and we are working through it as children are involved, but would it be wrong if I asked to look through my spouse's phone randomly?
No, it would not be, because you have reason to mistrust.
Yes.
But here's the problem, and here's what you're going to deal with going forward, because I know I went through it. When you don't trust somebody, the rest of your life is going to be spent worrying, where are they? What are they up to? Are they cheating? So it becomes kind of a prison for you, not them. They're going to do what they're going to do. But you're always going to live a life where you're suspicious and always thinking the worst and always worried and always upset. And you just have to...
Yeah.
Do
it's
you
no way
want
to
that
live.
for
No.
you? It's
I
not
mean,
about him.
I
It's about you.
I heard enough. Walls Pennington, I am so out. And I also understand if there's kids involved, that's a tougher decision to where you can just say, oh, fuck you, I'm out of here. But like you're saying, if my wife did that to me, I am not going to trust her. And that means I'm going to be not a good person. Like
You're going to be a mess.
The best
Yeah.
version of myself is not going to be
True.
around. I'm going to
Yeah.
be paranoid.
True.
And then I'm not going to be the best version of being a dad.
You're always going to be worried.
Yep.
I lived this. You're
Yep.
always going to be suspicious. Even when they're innocent and they're not up to anything, you're going to think they are, because you're always going to think about the infidelities.
I still think you can be a great father, a great mother, and in a situation like that, I think you got to be out. That's so,
You have
how
to,
many
yeah.
more reasons do you need
Yeah.
to leave this clown? He's
Yeah.
treating you like dirt.
Multiple
Don't put up with
offenses.
that. Life's too short. You're gonna put up with that
That's
horse
she
shit?
treating a he that way.
Yeah, it's horse shit.
Yeah. And people disrespect you as much as you will let them.
Right.
And you are giving them as much rope to just continually disrespect you. And so you just need to say, nope, enough's enough. That's it.
On your deathbed, you don't want to go, oh, fuck.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to start, separation, I think is necessary now. and to say, I just don't see this working where you've been. So
demand better for yourself. Demand that people in your life respect you. Friends, family, it goes across the board. Lovers, if they're not giving you respect, then kick them to the curb because you respect yourself too much.
Well, that person just flat out being just a terrible mate.
You're letting yourself be a doormat.
Yep.
And this person is doing whatever they want, and you're showing them how to treat you.
But in the email, it's like, well, I just want to check his phone or check their phone. Well, even if you do check their phone, they're gonna cheaters always find a way to cover their tracks for the most part. I know there's slip-ups, and then they're gonna make you feel like the crazy person. You're gonna go to that person and say, I want to check your phone, and they're gonna call you. They're gonna say you're crazy. Well, you can't trust me when they've given you the reason to be insecure.
Cheaters love to call you crazy.
But now you're just chasing a tail. You're just chasing your tail. I mean, you are. Life's too short.
Amanda, thoughts to you. She thought she had a more solid relationship than what she does, and things just ended. She was with a guy, thought that they were homies, soulmates, all that kind of good stuff, and he had a conversation going with somebody from Orlando that was just supposed to be friendsy, but who knows where that is now. And so she's just going through it. 3 days straight, she's been, crying all day and night, and she said, I feel empty without him. He felt like my other half. My entire family thought he would marry me, and we were so connected. They're devastated too. I don't know how to pick up the pieces. Part of me wants him back, but another part of me is so angry for how he ended this and how cruel and blunt his words were. I'm so lost. Please, KVJ, bring me some clarity.
The best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody new.
That's not always true. I know that some people think that, and you're right. For some people, though, if you do that, the loneliness and depression actually is big time blown up.
I think if you get back out there and realize you do have some worth outside of this man is not your everything. If he's not treating you properly and he spoke to you with harsh words and broke up with you and was mean to you and hurt you, again, you got to demand more out of your lovers.
Yeah.
Demand that they treat you the way you deserve.
Well, what you're dealing with is a self-esteem issue. That's what happens because you're hurt, and the best way to fix that up is to work out the self-esteem and find some way that you want to improve yourself. Focus on that and become a better version of you. And then for whomever your next partner is, you'll be better off than who you are now and a better person, and you'll offer more. So just a thought. All right, you got any emails you want to run past us? You can. Just send it to us, mail@kvjshow.com, mail@kvjshow.com. We'll talk to y'all later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.